Hey out there. So I had the battery in my Stage 2 M1 go into a permanent fault, or basically it went into protect mode permanently and it wouldn't come out of it. And that happened because it was in my garage overnight and it got cold. And not really that cold. It was 60 degrees when I tried to charge it, but the battery itself was reading 58 degrees, which I didn't think it was that cold. Battery didn't want to charge. It must have just been colder. So I brought it in front of the house. I put it I put it in front of a heater. Not the best idea. I did turn it around a few times. It wasn't there very long, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and it never ultimately got really hot. However, one of the sensors did get hot and trip. It sent this battery into a protect mode. What it actually said, I'm on a backup phone right now. The phone I was using, I dropped it off a ladder and it broke since then. But I am fixing things as quickly as they break right now in my life. So yeah, I'm on this backup phone temporarily. But what it said was protect and then COT, cell over temp. So there's no way that that heat energy actually made it into the cell. It just wasn't hot enough and wasn't long enough for that to happen. So the temperature sensor very likely is stuck on the outside of the cell, and the case is metal. So if they were to contact or just be in close proximity, I think I tricked it into thinking that the cell itself was very hot, when really it was probably just the case on the outside that was getting hot. So with that in mind, I decided to try and reset this BMS. Now, they have, here's what I found in there. So this is the BMS itself. It says 80 amp, but obviously it outputs more than that. You can see the 16 there, probably for 16 cells. And the company name is Jin Li Peng, Jinlipeng. They have an app for Apple. Now, I don't use Apple. I don't have Apple phones or products, so I can't use the app, but it looks good. It looks like you're actually able to make and save setting changes. So, I wish I had the app, but I don't. So, I don't really need to change the settings as it is. I just wanted to reset this protect. So, here's how I did it without the app. So first, yeah, I went in there and I took the top of the case off, and you'll notice that there is just a few things in here really quick. So one of the things that jumped out at me, this is the connector for the charging, where you plug in your charger, and it's just like an RC car connector. It's an XT60, and what I did was unplug that and let the case hang off a little bit more. I just didn't take a photo when I did it. So the first thing I tried was unplugging everything. So you can see I've got lots of different things unplugged here. I've got this unplugged. This is the Bluetooth module. That's the connector for the Bluetooth module, essentially power for it. And it sits on this black tray, which screws in at 4 points into these inserts here. Black tray goes in there, so you could unscrew those and remove that whole black tray and unplug the Bluetooth module. There's also this like floating piece with an antenna on it. Here I have it wedged in between the case and the battery to hold the black plastic case up before I decided just to unplug the connector here and actually remove everything. So yeah, this black square has an antenna sticking out of it, and it wasn't screwed into anything. It was just free floating on top of this case right over here, and it fits into a void. It fits into a space on the top cap part of the battery, and it just sits in there. So something to do with the Bluetooth module. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, okay, so unplugging everything didn't work. what actually worked is I noticed there's these screws. There's two on either side of the BMS board itself, and I thought they were just holding the board. These screws right here, I thought they were just holding the board to the battery, which they are, but they're also protected by a piece of black plastic, and it seemed kind of excessive. But what they actually are terminals. So there's two on this side, and there's two on the other side of the battery, which are not in this photo. And once I removed those and had everything unplugged, I I removed those screws, had everything unplugged, and then there's another view of those screws in the background there. Then I reassembled the battery back together, plugged everything back in, put the screws back in, put the lid back on, and at that point, there still wasn't any Bluetooth connectivity. The module wasn't turning on, and also I went to check voltage in this connector here, where you plug it into your bike, and it was reading 0. So I'm thinking, oh man, it's still tripped. It's not outputting anything, and now I lost Bluetooth. So I decided to force the battery's hand, and I plugged it into a charger. And when I plugged it into the charger, it turned on and then cycled off, which made my stomach sink a little, and then it turned back on, and it's been taking a charge ever since. Also, the Bluetooth came back, so it's essentially back to normal, and I'm almost certain that it's fixed now. So the next step is I'm gonna put it in the bike and take it for a ride. But yeah, it's fixed. So here, we'll do this live, and we'll connect. 87 decibels should be close enough. Boom, charging, 9.6 amps. 63, almost 64 volts right now. Look at the temperatures, are very reasonable, and all the cells look pretty darn perfect. So I mean, this is great. The battery's back. The only thing that's a little concerning is I didn't put any additional potting material over those connectors, so now the chances of them coming unplugged are high. But I could always go back in there and do that once I figure out how to do that. So, all right, yeah. So that's it. That's how you fix your permanent fault in your battery. Just be careful. I wouldn't do this if you haven't or aren't capable of doing the previous two things I've done to the bike, like putting the headlight or the far driver. I wouldn't want to make this the first thing you do, just because I don't know. I'm careful where I touch, and don't yank on the wires as much, and yeah, you just don't want to end up trying to fix anything in there. So, well, that's it. But if I could do it, you could do it, and that's how you get out of that pickle. All right, guys, peace.